Alright everybody, hope you're all doing well and welcome to week 5 of the Novice program as outlined in the book Starting Strength that was written by Mark Ripito. Now as you can see on screen there's a table there, and the top half of that table is week 4 and the bottom half of that table is week 5, which I'm going to be discussing in this video, but week 4 is just on there so you can compare and see the difference between my lifts from week to week. So basically, the main thing to note here, the thing that's going really well with this program is my squat. Currently, it's been increasing 15 kilos a week, which is absolutely huge. 5 kilo jumps 3 times a week. So very happy with that there. Now, considering I started at 35 kilos when I first started this program, I did a bit of technique work because I'd never done low bar squats before at first, so that's why if you try and work it out and you're like, that doesn't make sense, 15 kilos a week, if you factor in the technique sessions that I had right at the start, which you can see in previous videos, then yeah, I've been sustaining these 5 kilo jumps all the way through, and I'm on week 5 now, done that. And hopefully the 5 kilo jumps are going to carry on through week 6, because what I've really got in my head right now for the short term goal of squatting 2 plates for 3 sets of 5, and I believe I can sustain them 5 kilo jumps up until that point. I'm really going to try and go beyond that point with the 5 kilo jumps, but obviously as the weight starts to get heavier and heavier, it's going to get increasingly difficult to maintain that rapid amount of progress that I'm making on that lift. But nevertheless, I'm getting more comfortable doing squats, which is good. I'm getting more confident with my technique. Still got a lot of work to do to it, but it's looking a lot better than when I first started this program. So I'm very happy with how that lift is progressing. Now, as you can see, the press is finally back. I had a few technique issues, and they're not 100% resolved, but it's looking a lot better. So I've got a little clip in to show you guys. But 40 kilos, so it's actually 5 kilos lighter than what was displayed in the starting weeks of this program. So in a way it's a bit of regression, but honestly the technique's looking miles better, so I think that's more important, and I will get up to that 45 kilos and beyond shortly. Coming into week 6 I'm going to be pressing 42.5 kilos. I've got no doubt in my mind that that'll be fine, and then hopefully in week 7 I'll then go above and beyond that 45 kilo press that you saw near the start of this series, and then I'll get the 47.5 kilo press or 46 kilo press or whatever it is. Hope to go beyond 45 kilo press in week 7. So we'll have to wait and see, but I'm feeling confident for that. Now the bench press as well, still creeping up in them micro loading increments, so going at 1.5 kilos. I would highly recommend getting some of them micro loading plates. Very useful, because I'm at the point where I cannot sustain the 2.5 kilo jumps in bench, but I have got a theory that now I've added back in the press, perhaps that's going to help increase my bench as well, just for the extra pressing volume that I'm going to be getting, because before I wasn't doing any heavy press work, so I was only benching once a week, sometimes twice a week the other week. But I feel like the extra volume that my shoulders and triceps and a bit on the upper chest as well is going to be getting is going to help with my bench press, especially at the stage that I'm at with my strength level. The other main thing to note, deadlift up 5 kilos again, feeling very confident with that, and I'm sure going into week 6 I'll be able to hit the 120. Again, it's going to be very interesting to see, because the common criticism that I've heard a lot of people say about this program is that the deadlifting volume is too low. But so far I've added 15 kilos to the deadlift since my start point at 100 kilos. So very happy with that. But let's just see how it goes. Only time will tell. And again, the other thing to note on here is chin up, full range of motion work. If you're confused what I mean by that, if you're new to the series, clips will be at the end of the video, but timestamps below as always. Now, the other thing to factor in here is that the power clean has no results. That's because when I actually went to power clean, I was feeling very lightheaded. I'd been working all day and I hadn't eaten, and at the time I was filming this, I think it was around about 8 in the evening, so I hadn't had any food since about maybe 10 the following night. So that's a really long fast there. If I try and work it out now, it's about 22 hours, I believe. So I can usually train pretty well in a fasted state, to be honest. I don't always train in a fasted state, but sometimes you can't help it. It's how your day schedule goes, and it's great to be super organised and have all your meals with you, but that isn't going to work all the time. So it is what it is, but I had to leave it because it was a matter of safety, really. But be assured, next time I'm going to be hitting that power clean and making some progress on it. So yeah, let's get into the clips. And any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Alright, so we're starting out these workout clips with the deadlift. Now it's 115 kilos, so 5 kilos above my previous weight. And again, I got 5 reps, so super happy about that. And what you can see me doing here is just making sure the bar is directly over the midfoot. Then I'm grasping the bar with a grip that won't tear my calluses, because I've had issues with calluses like tearing off, ripping in the past. But this grip that I'm using, it is double overhand, but it doesn't tear your calluses. If you're interested in that, probably the best thing to do is either check the description of this video, because I'll try and link that video there, or search something like Mark Ripperto grip calluses or something like that, and I'm sure you'll find it pretty easy. But I'm finding it quite effective, and it's not tearing up my calluses whatsoever, which is very good. And yeah, the grip's not a problem though, don't get me wrong, it's just when the calluses rip. My grip's actually fairly decent, at least I think it is. I mean, this isn't a challenging thing for my grip here. I mean, I'm not saying my grip's amazing, it definitely isn't, but that's not too bad. So yeah, the grip isn't an issue, it's just calluses ripping. And I'm sure a lot of you will have the same issue, so just make sure you're gripping the bar correctly to avoid that happening. I say correctly, each to their own, but yeah, it definitely works for preventing them calluses. So here on the bench press, another 1.5 kilo increment. Very happy with the progress on this. Again, technique's not perfect, but it's still looking better than some of my earlier videos where you see me benching and the bar's a lot more wonky. So yeah, very happy with how it's going. As you can see, I'm doing touch and go here. I'm not doing pause bench. I was never really intending to do pause bench. All that I was doing when I was pausing on my chest, which may or may not have been a good idea, was just getting comfortable with the lift, because it had been so long. Same with the squats, like, it's been so long since I'd done any of them movements, and especially low bar squats. I'd never done them before. Like, I just wanted that confidence in the hardest position of the lift to know, like, okay, I'm in control of this weight at this bottom position, and then I can press it back up or squat it back up. It was really for my own psychological benefit more than anything. It was never intended for me to run the program with pause lifts. I'm planning to run the program as written, but I guess that's something that I subconsciously perhaps added in, was them pauses, just to build up my own confidence with the weights. But regardless, yeah, touch and go. As you've seen in the squats, I'm not really pausing at the bottom. It might be a brief pause perhaps, but it's nothing like the pause squats that you may have seen in other videos. But yeah, that's not an issue. I don't think it's an issue. Pause training might come later in my career, but I know some of you will be big on pause lifts, and you're like, no, Sam, you should do pause squats or pause bench. Listen, as I outlined in the earlier videos, I'm going to be following the program as written to the best of my ability, so the lifts will not be paused. I won't be bouncing the bar off my chest or whatever in the bench, but it will be touch and go. So as you can see, I'm hitting a decent depth. It's definitely parallel. I would argue that it's slightly below parallel, to be honest with you. Really, to tell that, you'd have to watch the next clip, which shows it directly from the side angle. So you can see the back positioning and where the hips lie in relation to the knee. But yeah, I'm super happy with how these squats are going. I mean, if you think, like, starting out on this program, I opened with 35 kilos for 3 sets of 5. And here I'm doing 80 kilos for 3 sets of 5, just like 5 weeks in. That's absolutely, it's really good progress, and I'm happy about that, especially when I hit that 2 plates, which I hope to do like in a couple of weeks. That'll be like nearly 3 times more than what I started out squatting. Now granted, like when I was squatting 35 kilos, it was horrendous, like technique was pretty bad, and it was very weak, but it's all I could do at the time. And I'm sure a lot of you had a laugh at me for that and thought it was extremely weak, and it was extremely weak. But and I'm sure some of you, when I'm talking about getting to this 2-plate squat, will probably be thinking, oh, 2-plate squat is so weak. And I don't know if you were probably right, like, oh, 2-plate squat is chicken legs or some other shit, but just realize that I don't care, to be honest with you. The only person that I'm interested in beating is myself. That's the only other person who I care how much lifts. I care that I lifted 80 kilos in this session, and when I go into my next session, I'm not going to be thinking, I'm not going to be good enough unless I can squat 3 plates. No, all I'm thinking is, I want to be better than that guy who squatted 80 kilos for 3 sets of 5. Because that's all I care about. If you're so insecure and got so much body image disorders and stuff and whatever else, whatever the psychological issues that you feel like you need to get to a 3 plate squat, otherwise you won't be validated as a person. I feel sorry for you because honestly I've had them thoughts in the past, but please realize that's just bullshit and it's not going to help you out whatsoever. Comparison usually is a bad thing for a lot of people. Of course, these strength standard charts that are out there are very useful tools, but comparison in general, especially with everything in social media and stuff, and obviously fitness, whatever, weightlifting is big on social media. I think it's really, honestly, no other way to put it but fucking people up because they're getting all these body image disturbances because everyone's juicing, taking all these steroids, editing the hell out of the photos and stuff. And, listen, what I'm trying to do on this channel is show you a real natural who's not that genetically gifted and very talented at endurance sports. This is like the opposite end of the spectrum to where my genetics lie. But I'm showing you that you can still make progress. You're not going to look like super massive like all these people on Instagram, but you can build a decent, good looking body and you can be pretty strong as well. Okay, so that's what I really wanted to do there. Is just have a real natural guy who isn't like insanely strong, because when I was looking for role models on YouTube, all I could see was people like deadlifting like 8 plates or something stupid that I just like it wasn't motivating for me, it wasn't inspiring. I never saw someone deadlifting 2 plates, which would have been a more realistic goal for me. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know I went on a little bit of a rant at the end there. Probably going to do a proper big video on all that kind of stuff soon because I got a lot to get off my chest on that, as well as some nutrition content. I know this has all been, you guys have been waiting a while and I've been talking about these new videos, but I'm just really busy and I don't want to rush these things, but when they happen, I'm going to make sure to give out some really good content. So until next time, I'll see you all later.